All right, Democrats on a mission to derail President Trump's tax reform plan.
This bill is so slanted towards the wealthy and powerful and rains tax increases upon millions of middle-class citizens.
No, it is the end of the road. This is Armageddon.
The so-called tax reform bill that basically cuts the taxes of the wealthiest people in this country.
I've never seen a more blatant attempt at a corporate welfare bill than this bill.
There might be the sugar high of growth for a year or so, but you're going to be stuck with debt that's going to be passed on to these children for a tax cut for people at the very top.
This is a shell game, a Ponzi scheme that corporate America will perpetrate on the American people.
Politicians wonder why they have very little credibility these days. But is this about to backfire? Is the battle here about to backfire on the Democrats? Here to weigh in, the chairman of the Business and Finance Program at the King's College in Manhattan, Brian Brenberg. Brian, I want you to explain to me why this tax reform plan is going to end with the world and its demise and all of us dying.
Yeah, it really is. It's so ridiculous to hear this language of Armageddon and class welfare. Look, you can have disagreements with the bill, but the fact is it's not Armageddon. And I think the reason they're using this kind of language is because they know if this passes, starting next year, middle-class Americans are going to see tax cuts show up in their paycheck. Businesses are going to see it show up in their bottom line, and investors are going to see it show up in their 401ks. And I think Democrats are afraid of that because that probably can give Republicans a little bit of momentum going into 2018.
If they win in 2018, Pelosi's definitely done, I think you could argue. I mean, it's, you know, they have to win back at least the House, if not the Senate. I mean, they've got to get some level of this system back in their power.
Yeah, and I think Democrats know that passing this tax bill actually probably will help Republicans because it is going to show up in most people's paychecks. Unlike what you hear Democrats talking about, it is going to show up in people's paychecks.
Right. To give Pelosi some credit, she was talking about the repealing of the individual mandate, which is what forces people to buy Obamacare, and she's saying that that will actually kill people if you don't make them buy their own insurance. They won't be as healthy as they should be.
And, that's a pretty low view of people to say, if we don't make you do something that's good for you, you're not going to do it. You got to have a little more respect for voters than that. The repeal of the individual mandate doesn't mean people can't get insurance. It means they don't have to. And this is the kind of sort of trickery or obfuscation you see going on in the conversation here because people don't want to deal, Democrats don't want to deal with the plain truth, which is this is a tax cut for the vast majority of Americans.
Yeah. Okay, it's passed the House, it's passed the Senate, it's in conference now. They're blending it together to come out with the best version that they can, and then it's got to go through all that again. But in the meantime, this is not, it's not a tax cut for everybody, to be fair. Now, a lot of people, lower class people, are going to get a good deal here. There's going to be a lot more people that are going to pay no taxes at all, from what I understand. There is a little bit of constraint in the middle class that there might be some people that are around the 100K mark that are living in blue states outside big cities, which is not a lot of money if you live right outside New York, that are going to see a tax hike because of that SALT deduction, the state and local tax.
Getting rid of the state and local tax deduction is going to hit people. Primarily, it's going to hit people in blue states, New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, who make more than $100,000. They're going to lose that deduction, and that is going to matter for their tax bill. So it is true that that group of people probably has something to be concerned about.
And let's be fair. I mean, if you've got 2 kids and a mortgage and you make $100K and you live right outside New York City or Chicago, you're not really killing it, so a tax hike is going to hurt.
And they're justifiably concerned. But my point is, look, you can do something about that. State and local politicians can do something about that. They can cut taxes for their citizens. They haven't done that for decades. This puts a little pressure on them to get their own fiscal house.
And the real plan of this is the corporate tax down to 20%, repatriate these businesses, bring jobs back into this country. And you say that just a few years ago, Democrats wanted to cut corporate tax rates.
4 years ago, you had President Obama talking about cutting corporate taxes because he got something that today Democrats aren't willing to even admit, and that is for years we've seen U.S. businesses relocating overseas because they pay a way higher tax rate here than they do overseas. So this bill says, no, let's make our tax code competitive so businesses want to stay here, invest here. That's good for everybody. Democrats want to label that as a giveaway to the rich. That's not. That's good for everybody. They've got to be more honest about that because their own president was honest about it 4 years ago.
And now that it's Trump's idea, it's Armageddon.
Right, yeah.
Okay. Politics as usual. Brian, thank you so much.
You bet.